So if you look at the list here, we actually add, let me see that. We actually added extra rack tom 1 and 2. So rack 1, rack 2. So that's going to be 4 and 5. So then 6, 7, 8. Working up and down. So make one that says rack 1, one that says rack 2.
I got rack 1.
Okay, nice. What you got there? Sorry, so rack 1, he's got that, so we'll check that off. Floor tom. Or no, wait, sorry, rack, we need rack 2 now, and then rack 2. There you go.
R2 on both of them.
Extra.
Yeah, I just did rack 1. And now rack 1, rack 2.
Wait.
This is Adam. Yeah, rack.
So
Rack-
you would,
rack
so
2
he's doing rack
out.
2, so if you want to do floor. Yeah, put it on both sides.
Do you see your classmates?
You don't want like a crazy amount of slack, you just want enough to have a little wiggle room. That would be good for this one. There you go.
It's rack 1.
Well, it says out on there too. We don't want it to be
Don't want it out.
out is just the kick
It's
mic.
just that.
Yeah, so that's going to be confusing, you know. You want to make this so anybody can, without thinking,
I did on rack 2.
yeah, in and out. Yep. Those are already done. We just want it to be what it is. That's it. So this is going to be a rack 1.
Yeah, so they did.
Well, I think they might make sure they're not already doing it. They might already have one.
We're up to
A lot of times it's also easier to stretch
Sorry. Unsuspecting victims.
the mic and then work the width. So these things, what is this? Rack 2. That's why it's labeled. And then you clip these in here like that, strain relief. And then kind of just let it hang over, kind of deal like that. What's this?
Tune the room before we get started. So we got two separate things that we've got to do. We've got to make sure that our mains are sounding good and that the room sounds good. And then we also have to address the monitors to make sure we can get enough gain before feedback on stage. So that was when we were talking about ringing out the monitors. So somebody else give me some reason why we need to tune the room. Wouldn't you think that it would already be tuned? Does anybody know what tuning the room means?
so we can add and cut frequency.
We add and cut frequencies, that's part of the process. But what's the reason for doing that? Why do we need to do that?
Trying to get a flat response curve.
Trying to get a flat response curve. And why do we need a flat response curve? Yes, sir?
Is it so that we have a base so we know when we're adjusting everything else, we know how to adjust according to, so basically like we have a foundation, I guess?
Right, we want a reference point, right? And so every environment that we set up in, whether it's inside or outside, if it's a concert hall or a recording studio, any place that we start sending music into speakers and bringing that level up, it's going to be affected by the acoustics of the room. And so the acoustics of the room are going to be different everywhere we go. It's always going to be different. And we need to make sure that we've got a reference point, a base point so that if we start changing EQ, we know that it's actually what we think it is, and that we're not trying to overcome some anomaly that's in the room. So as we start energizing the room with audio, we know that it's going to bounce around all over the place like ping pong balls, all around the room, and it's going to regenerate every place that there's a parallel surface. It's going to create standing waves. It's going to reflect stronger in certain frequencies than others, and that's going to be dependent 100% on the acoustics of the room. Also the dimensions. We talked about the dimension of the space that we're in and how much distance it takes for frequencies to fully develop. We know that a 20 hertz frequency is about 33 feet. And so if we've got a room this big, we know that we could potentially develop 20 hertz in this room. There's enough room in here for it enough distance for it to completely generate a full 20 hertz wavelength. So that means that we could potentially have a lot of low frequency information in the room. We also can look around and see we've got a lot of reflective surfaces everywhere. The stage is reflective, the walls are reflective, these walls. So we've got a lot of potential for reflections to happen. So as soon as we start lighting this room up with audio, that sound's going to start bouncing around all over the place. And we always hope that if we have a dedicated music environment like this, that it has been acoustically created pretty well, but you can't always count on that. Sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. So the only way to know is to use a real-time analysis or an RTA. And we use broadband noise to send into the system, broadband meaning pink noise or white noise. We generally use pink noise because it's rated for the RTAs, and it's more like the noise that we hear, broadband noise, for the human hearing range. White noise is used more for test equipment. That would be used to test audio equipment, things like that. But we're generally interested in the human hearing range, so from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So what we do is we generate using that broadband noise, and we turn it on and put a mic up in the room, like this little test mic here, and then we sample that noise. And using a graph, we can see what is happening with that noise. We know that we're sending a flat broadband noise from 20 cycles to 20,000, ruler flat. So if it's going out ruler flat, but our microphone is picking it up and it's looking more like that, then we know we've got some issues to deal with. We know that the room is affecting the sound.
Yep, check.
And 1K.
I think it's pretty much going to be all the same offenders. Yeah, check. Yeah, test. Maybe a little too much on the upper frequencies. It's kind of dulled it out a little bit there. Lost some of our sizzle. Check. Sizzle, yeah, that's. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot there. Check. Test. Yeah, it's pretty stable. You can hear the sibilants. Nice and clear. Ooh, hey. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's stable and it's not going to feed back. And
Let's go over to the drum monitor.
hey.
I know, I just realized that as I said it.
Check it out. All right, has everybody had a chance to take a look at everything? All right, so where are we going to start after the show? Once the show's over,
So what happens to him?
what's the first thing we're gonna do?
Taking down on the mic.
We're gonna
We turn
take
off the house
down
first?
the mic cables.
Okay.
We're gonna disconnect the mic and roll up the mic cable. So where are we gonna start? Now that we talked about it, you guys have been walking around and looking. Where are we gonna start first? The last thing that we set up, right?
The wireless one?
The vocals. The vocals are wireless, so where are the vocal lines? In the rack. Right there in the rack. So we're gonna start there with the vocals. We're gonna disconnect those mic lines. Then what are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do there? Then
the saxophone.
saxophone,
The guitar.
aerophone, then after that, keyboards, then the drum set light. So when we all get.
Hi, Connor.
I'm gonna assign you guys some groups. I'm gonna say, all right, you 4 people, you 5 people, you do those mic lines. And then as soon as those are out of the way, then I'm gonna say, you 5 people, you do.
People are
the
gonna be
next
able to
set of
hear me
mic
chewing
lines.
this gum in this
We'll just
video.
work that way all the way through until
Glad I
we
said
get
something.
everything taken down. Once we get all the mic cables put away, then we're going to take the mics off the stands, put them in their cases, get them off stage. Then we're gonna move to getting the mic stands off stage, and put those in the mic stand case. So everybody walk around and look over there, you'll see the blue cases, the mic stand case. That's where the mic stands go.
At least you didn't flip it off. That's what I would have done.
Yeah. It's on the stage.
Big freaking crates, man.
That's cool.
We're like roadies. We're like real, like,
We are.
On a stage like this.
Separated into different cable lengths. The first row is for 25 footers, the next row is for 50 and up. So we want to make sure that we get the cables in the right bin. Most of these cables up on stage are 25 footers, so they go in that first bin. There are a few that are going to the monitors up front that are 50 footers. So when you start rolling up your cable, make sure you know which one's which. So if you've got a big long one like going to those front monitors, it goes in the second bin in there. So we're gonna make sure that we get them wrapped up. We don't want any twist and wire nest in there, so we wanna make sure we get our cables wrapped up good and neat and put those cables away. Then we'll put our microphone stands away. Then we will start moving the instruments off stage. And we've got 2 carts over there, and all the instruments will fit on both of those carts. So we'll take the keyboards off first, we'll get the keyboard stands off first, or next, then we'll get the amps, and then our drum kit will be the last thing that we move on to the...
Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head to feel that down. Look down on. Do your best. Do everything you can. Don't you worry, but pretend they're hot. I'm gonna say the word. It can take some time, but it'll be in the middle of let's go.